had something that was really for couples, but we needed ideas on how to market it, but we wasn't really had experience in how to do it.
For me, I knew that there was no way we would be able to move forward as an engaged, married couple with all of these ideas in our head without having proper guidance. And when I say guidance, I don't mean, oh, this is how you market this and this is how you say that. I mean, the scheduling, the order of priority in terms of lifestyle. What should your marriage look like, and how does it interface with the business? Is the business driving marriage or vice versa? How do you even conceptualize that? Because there's nothing really out on the market that addresses that. And so the tipping point for me was, this is kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity to get all of these areas addressed under one umbrella. What Love and Launch did was it brought structure to our idea.
Yes.
It taught us how to take what we had in our head and create a value message of who are we targeting, what are we doing, and how are we going to do it? Who are we helping, and how are we going to help them? The bells and whistles that traditional marketing agencies may tell you you think you need, you really don't. So Love and Launch shows you how to make an offer, and setting up payment and all the back end things that you may see some major figures doing, but it's like, oh wow, I can do that too. And it takes planning, it takes work, but you can do it. You can do it all for free if you have the right coaching.
But the thing that we did not have was confidence in knowing of what we're talking about, knowing how to market that. And so when we began with the book as well and getting married too, all at the same time, it was like, okay, we need to know how to channel this. We really need to know how to bring this together. And now moving forward for myself, I'm a whole lot more confident. Yes, that really built my confidence. It pushed me out there, launched me out there and said, hey, get out the nest, get out of the house. Believe in what you're doing, know what you're doing. And that did it. That just brought us to where we are now and what we're doing now with couples, Christian married couples, and the booklet that we really believe in. We understood something that if financially we had to say, okay, listen, this is what we want. We have our businesses, we have our coaching, so we have to invest. We cannot hesitate. We cannot allow ourselves to be held back. Move forward with what you believe in and what you trust in, and what it was about. As a result of this, I'm going ahead, about 2 weeks ago it was, my wife was invited to go to Florida, and we went to Florida, and she spoke at an event that really helped with the coaching that OL Sway gave us, that she was very profitable in it.
As a result, they want us to come back. We've taken the concepts we've learned, and we've been able to apply it to our other businesses successfully, maintain a sustainably profitable business stream of income. You can't afford not to sign up.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, you're going to spend so much more time trying to accomplish the same end objective. And time is money. You can always get your money back, but you can't get your time back. And so when you go through a Love and Launch crash course with OL and Sway, and you look at how simple, when they say keep it super simple, they mean it. There's nothing hidden about what it takes to become marketable and sustainably profitable. It's worth the time and the savings of time that you will gain as a result of being part of Love and Launch.
There they go. What's up, everybody?
Hey guys, what is
Welcome.
happening? This is the final bonus day,
That's right.
and
It's bonus day 2 of the Love and
woo,
Launch Challenge.
y'all, this has been an amazing ride and journey. Today, we're going to dive right on in. We're going to be going over, as we mentioned, your clarity assessment. The clarity assessment is going to give you a breakdown of how to get results in your business if you're just starting or if you're relaunching. It doesn't matter, but it's going to show you how to get results literally in about 30 days. Okay, so we're going to walk you through a very simple process, but it's also going to show you where you need to be starting, because you may not need to be starting at the step 1. It depends, but you do want to make sure your step 1 is clear and then your step 2 is clear, and you want to go in order. Okay, so that's going to be really, really important. So y'all ready? This is going to be an outline of, pull this up, the like a high level view anyway of going through is, of course, we don't have all the time in the world at all to go over, like to go deep. We want to give you something so you can see exactly like what the next steps need to be. But also, in addition to that, we're going to show you where and how, even within, for those of you who are applying for Love and Launch cohort, how we walk you through each of these steps as well. And we say 30 days because literally, if you are focused in these areas, you will see results. Okay, so let's go through the first one.
Yeah, so the first one is step 1, the clear who and how statement. This is where your micro niche of who you serve, meaning with what, so they can, or with so they can do what, so you can help them accomplish what. You know, this particular step here is so interesting because as you think about your skill set, your knowledge base, your expertise, one of the challenges is trying to figure out where in our skill set do we really get most energized? Do we really enjoy helping people to achieve whatever that level of success is? For me, I can remember when I first left the bank, my first start as an entrepreneur was working with those who were in the investing space. Now, the investing space is broad, it's wide, it's a lot of spices in a very big pie. I had to figure out what was going to be my micro niche. And for me at the time, after having bumped my head a little bit, right, and kind of going around in circles, I realized I work best, I get most energized by working with those who are in the beginning stages. So I like working with beginning investors, those early years of investing, because that's where my knowledge base really seems to fit and I get most energized from. So when you think about your micro niche, it's about your expertise, but it's about that group of people that you really know you can serve deep and wide and help them achieve what?
Yes. So this is important, y'all. Don't say, okay, I already have that together, because many times people think they're very clear and niche down, but they really aren't. Okay. So think about what are some ways that you can get even more clear about your messaging, about who your ideal, your perfect market is, those perfect people for you, and what it is that you do. Now, in of course, the Love and Launch cohort, this is one of the first things we go over. Not the first thing, because before that, we have to go over your business hours and understanding how to implement high-level productivity systems for legacy building. That's first, and clarity. But then we go into this part, and this is critical to make sure you're very, very clear and concise, like not too wordy either. Okay, so that's going to be the first step that you want to go over. We're talking about getting results in your business in 30 days or less. Like this right here, these steps are not an option. They are.
Yeah, these are not skippable steps.
They are necessary. Yeah. They're not skippable, he says. No, they're not. So here's the next step of the clarity in launching. Okay, we're talking about in 30-day launch. So the next step, you want to make sure that you have a very clear strategy for your gathering event. Remember, we talked about that earlier in the week, last week, of the gathering. Like, what are you doing to for a marketing tool to bring your people in, as well as to go out in front of them? So that gathering event, it's both. Remember, we talked about the two-way method, making sure you have both in place and not just one. Otherwise, you are missing out on the opportunities to grow to optimize your growth strategy. I'll say that. So it's not just creeping, but you have both sides working for you. And so right here in this step, you want to clarify which marketing method you're going to use. That's going to be your primary way to gather, which is the marketing, plus the 5-star system. Remember we talked about the 5-star system and understanding what are those at least 5 different ways for you to market, and not just relying on one way, like just social media, putting all your eggs in one basket, or just email, putting all your eggs in one basket, or just word of mouth or referral, putting all your eggs in one basket, right? You have to have a clear system and a strategy. So it's important to be mindful of this, because even as we talk about the 5-star system, you want to be able to pick which ones of those are going to be the primary one, right? So you can start with the 5-star to see, okay, which one is going to yield the most, but it doesn't take long to see that. And then once you're clear on that, you continue to work that. But you'll have more than one area that will yield great results for you, but you oftentimes don't know until you actually lean all the way into it, lean all the way into it to see, okay, is this the one that's going to work best for me? Okay, so that is going to be step number 2. Now, with that, the strategy for the gathering event, for your marketing, your whole marketing outline, and your business model. This is exactly what we go over in module 2 of in your Love and Launch cohort. So we actually walk you through this step as well, and going deep with it to make sure that we're all on the same page, and that you're clear. You feel good about, okay, these are the very specific people that I'm called to impact, and your different wealth roles too. Because this is not just about business. More importantly, it's about understanding how building out the legacy building out your legacy as marriedpreneurs is going to look in this new season for you. So it's really important to be clear about your wealth roles. Once you get clear, first you got to get clear though about what it is that you're going to be doing, what you're going to be focusing on, and then understanding how your wealth roles play into that. Okay, so here's next, step 3. What you want to have next?
Step 3 is your 30-day action calendar. Now, this is your specific how you're going to exactly accomplish the task needed, considering your time, your energy, and your capacity. So your 30-day action calendar is important, because as you go forward, if you're going to see success, right, and launch effectively in 30 days or less, then wouldn't it make sense to have a 30-day action plan as to how that's going to happen? So you can mark your progress as you're going. So yeah, of course it is. But within that 30 days, there's so many other things going on, right? And there's so many elements, perhaps even within the launch. So when you think about that, you have to consider your time.
Yep.
You have to consider time constraints. You have to consider your energy, times of day, your capacity. So all those things are being factored into your 30-day action calendar, and you're making decisions about the process or about these steps towards your launch as you consider time, energy, and capacity.
Yeah, so you just have to create it. We would recommend that you create this first, like write it out to know each day what is your one step that you're going to be taking that's going to move you one step closer to your 30-day goal, right? And this is important because otherwise, if you wait and try to do it the day of, it's no bueno, right? Because you're in it and you're like, oh, wait, and time goes and everything else is coming at you. You want to already have your 30-day action calendar ready to go as you launch into this next 30 days. Now, just to be clear, this is exactly what we offer and we include inside of the Love and Launch cohort as well. We have a 30-day action calendar for everyone to take one specific step, one day a week, actually Monday through Friday. So you have the weekends off, or you have time to catch up, to rest, have family time, couple time, all that stuff. That's really important. But you want to have a calendar that's going to get you results. Don't just put things on the calendar like, oh, I'm gonna do this and this and this. You want to have very specific steps that go in a very specific order to get you the very specific results that you want. So you can create that, or you can have us walk you through that within a Love and Launch cohort. Okay, so that's step number 3. Let's head over to
step number 4.
We hope this is helping you all get some clarity as you're building out and as you're getting new ideas about how to do it. Because a lot of times we just have lots of ideas, but you're like, well, what order does this all go in? And when should I do this? And how do I do this? Well, this is going to be a great tool for you. Okay.
All right, step number 4. This is launch support. Launch support is so important for the accountability factor, the mastery, the community, and the simple systems. Anything that launches. I mean, if you just think about a natural rocket, there's support that helps that rocket to launch in addition to the rocket itself.
Yes.
This is where accountability comes in, because accountability helps you to make sure that you're staying on track. It's checking all those other boxes, the step 1, the step 2, and the step 3, as well as looking at your end result, the mastery, This is where that expertise really comes into play through the community, by the way, let me say, to help you stay accountable, as well as the community. There's a beautiful thing that happens within the context of community. There's revelation that comes in the context of community. There's these ahas, there's things that happen in the context of community that helps you launch successfully that doesn't happen individually or separately or in a garage isolated by yourself.
Yeah.
And then the simple systems. The reason why this is important, the simple systems, is because as married entrepreneurs, we have the tendency, if we're honest, to overcomplicate things by either thinking it takes more than it does, underestimating what it might take,
right,
or by simply trying to just do too much. And so this simple systems helps you to streamline, because you can't launch with being too weighted down. And the accountability, the mastery, the community helps you streamline so you can go further and, yes, faster.
Yes. And I want to say this too, as well, too. The beautiful thing about having the right community is being around like-minded thinkers, people who are building legacies, like-minded couples who are also building legacies in that same way that you are. But also the beautiful thing about community is you're not in isolation. You're not building in isolation. And what happens when you attempt to build in isolation is when you come up against roadblocks and hurdles and pitfalls, it's easy to think, wow, what's wrong with us? This is just not working. Well, why do we keep going around this whole mountain all over again? I thought we would already pass this point by now. Why is it taking so long? And I'm not sure what's working, or I'm not sure why this part is not responding like I expected it to. And all these different questions, internal questions oftentimes, and some of those come out externally as well. But the point of the matter is, when you realize, like, oh, you're dealing with that too. Oh, and this is how you dealt with that. Oh, so it's not just me thinking that it's only us going through this in my mind, when I realize other couples are actually thinking the same way and going through it, jumping over those hurdles, going over, okay, well, how did you land, right? And then, oh, did you fall? Okay, well, this is how you get back up. You're going to get back up and you're going to keep going. This is par for the course. Like, we're moving forward as you're building a legacy. This is how you build when you're doing that as marriedpreneurs, when you're doing that, like, even in community. And then you realize you don't have to figure it out on your own. That's the beautiful thing, because you can go so long by yourself thinking you're doing it correctly, but then frustrated because you're not getting the results that you desire to get, which are they're attainable. They're attainable though when you have the right systems in place, simple systems, and a right community that's going to encourage you in that way. Okay, so that's step number 4: launch support. Even if you didn't apply for a Love and Launch cohort, you gotta make sure you have these steps in place, y'all. You gotta make sure you have it, because otherwise you're just out here dabbling, as we talked about on day 1, and we're not dabblers, you're doers. And so that's really important, to have that right mindset of what you're doing. Now, our goal for you, though, is to say, if you want to get these results in 30 days, and you know how to get it by applying to be a part of a Love and Launch cohort. Okay, so let's go over the last step for you. This is going to be tying all the steps in one. It's going to bring it all together for you. Okay. So in this last step, step number 5, let me bring this up right here. This is where you have the confidence to execute.
Yes, the confidence to execute. Confidence is a huge part of launching successfully.
Yeah.
It's really one of the most critical parts. But confidence doesn't happen, suddenly and out of nowhere. Confidence stands on the building blocks of clarity.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about having a clear tracking system, that is going to give you the confidence, because you're able to then measure and monitor your progress. And this is especially true in a 30-day window, if that's going to be your target, right? Also, knowing what to tweak in session. So it's important that when you look at your trajectory, look at your process to launching, there are going to be things, we can assure you, that are going to need to be tweaked.
Yes.
But how do you know what those things are? Especially if you're trying to do this by yourself. So that confidence comes from knowing what needs to be tweaked. knowing what needs to be tweaked is knowing what you're looking for, not just what you're looking at. To say, oh, this needs to be adjusted, or that's stopping or stunting us or hindering us from launching. Also, have an amazing offer.
Yes, that part.
Have an amazing offer.
You got to have exchange.
To launch and go to market, go public, but have nothing compelling that the people that you're working with, those ideal clients and customers, if they don't want it, if they don't realize that this is something that truly will help them, if they're not convinced of that, there's not really an amazing offer. It may be an offer, but it ain't amazing.
It may be amazing to you, but if it's not amazing to the market, then that they're going to tell you that by how they respond with their money, right? So this is important to be very clear that your offer is something that they actually want and or need, but definitely want. Because when someone wants something, they will do things to reposition to make sure that they get what they want, right? And that also goes in the messaging, because there are going to be many things that there are many things that people need, but the messaging, if you were to tell them this is what they need, they would be pushed back on it, right? So you have to be able to tell them, well, these are the results that you want. So you speak in that language of resultology of what they want, not only focusing really on what they need, but really on what they want to bring that level of clarity. And then for them to say, yes, I want this, I want that, I want that. Then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you walk them through that process, or however your service or your product works, you're able to do that. So you want to be very clear on that. And that tracking is really important. I know you mentioned earlier, like if they plan on having, results in 30 days, I say you better plan on having results in 30 days, whether you're working with us or not. Like, you're marriedpreneurs, you're legacy builders, you absolutely, this is, 30 days from now, where do you want your business to be? If you're going to be about that life, right? You're being about the business, then where do you want your business to be? So this clarity assessment works regardless. Now, if you want to know all the steps and have it clear, so you're not trying to guess it and figure out how it works, that's where the Love and Launch cohort comes in. But if you already have these steps down, then go for it. But we do know and do believe that you all did not register and sign up to be a part of this training on accident right. or by happenstance, right? Everything is not is clear, and there is no randomness in this. So it is this information that we're giving you, this content does actually bring results. And oftentimes people attempt to do it on their own, and then they wind up frustrated, which is why many folks, they'll come in to, talk to us or register for resources like this. So this is why this resource is so amazing for you all. This is our last bonus day, our last day. The doors are closing for this year to be a part of a Love and Launch cohort. You can still apply at the time that we're talking right now for a little bit longer, but the doors are closing at 8 EST today. So we want to make sure that you all have this content, you have the information, you head over to marriedpreneursecrets.com to be a part of it. We want to make sure that you got this screenshot so you can see what it is. And another thing, last thing for this is you want to be able to see where you are on this whole assessment. Like if you have your micro niche, but then you don't have a strategy for your marketing plan, then that's going to take more than 30 days if you're trying to do it on your own, right? So it's like, well, how soon do you want to see results? Or you may be at your 30-day action calendar. Maybe you have the marketing piece down, but you don't have the action calendar together, right? So just know where you are and know where you're not. And then determine from there, okay, do I need help with this? And that response of yes, I would say, make sure you look at what you all desire to be doing in 30 days with your business and to determine, do you have the skill set to do that on your own? If not, that's where you apply for a Love and Launch cohort. Okay. It's just as simple as that. It's black and white, no gray area. That's all that it is. It's really that simple. And to get those results, that's our number one guarantee, is that you will have results in 30 days or less. So you can check out the stories of the other couples who have done such. We've shared some with you all this week as well here, but you can see those stories over at marriedpreneursecrets.com. It has been such a pleasure to serve you all in this way this whole last what, 8
7,
days?
8
Yeah,
days,
yeah. So we definitely look forward to working with you all, to helping you see great results as you all are building. We're just a resource on this journey with and for you. And so we believe all that God has placed in your heart to do, that as you all continue on and take the next steps, that you all will continue to see those results. And so it's our honor to be here with you and to serve you all this week. We look forward to working with you soon.
Yes.
And until next time,
keep living
purposefully
and powerfully
and profitably
in sync.
All right.